Here yet again, I make a recipe and forget to share it with you. I'm making cabbage rolls my way. This is no means how I'm telling you to do it. I have some hamburger meat. I cooked some mushroom as well and some rice. I mixed the rice and the cooked mushroom into the hamburger meat, seasoned it, and put an egg in it like I would when I make meatloaf and a little bit of panko to bind together the hamburger meat. However, you can see that did not work, and I wanted to cook my hamburger meat a little bit before I stuffed the cabbage leaves. Oh, first, the cabbage leaves. The cabbage leaves I boiled and steamed for just a few minutes until they got pliable. That's the first thing I did, and seasoned it with salt and pepper. I also have some tomato paste that I freeze, and I'm just gonna break off a block of this and make my sauce with it to pour over before I put it in the oven. I don't like raw hamburger meat whatsoever. I do not like any pink in it, so I want to make sure that it is done before. I have a lot of stuff in here, rice and mushrooms. The panko did not work for keeping this meat bound together. I'm just frying them up a little bit in some olive oil. Here's what I have so far for the cabbage leaves rolled up. And once I get this pan full, I'm going to preheat my oven to 350, and then I'll cover it and let that cook for 35 minutes and check to make sure the hamburger meat's done. If the hamburger meat wasn't done, I'd say 45 minutes, depending on how thick you make your kebabs. Mine, they're kind of falling apart and they're pre-cooked, so I don't need to cook them very long just to get this tomato sauce incorporated into my cabbage rolls for some good flavor. I'm gonna go ahead and finish browning that a little and get the rest of these leaves stuffed. I did season the hamburger meat. I used A1 Maggi seasoning, salt and pepper, Worcestershire. Sometimes I'll just make a meat and cabbage mixture, which I'm going to do with the rest of the meat. I'm going to top the dish with the rest of the meat sauce, tomato sauce with meat. It'll taste the same no matter if they're held together or not. In goes the tomato paste with the rest of the hamburger mixture and rice. Once I add some water to it, make a gravy, I'm going to pour it over my cabbage rolls. This is a little flavor I like to add for some extra tomato flavor. Here's my cabbage rolls before I put the sauce on. Right now I'm heating up the sauce, which is the rest of the meat, rice, tomato, and some water, and I'm making a gravy. Once it's thin enough and cooked to all the seasons incorporated, I'm gonna thin it out and then use it as my gravy on top. Normally you wouldn't have a lot of meat left over, but this is all the meat that fell apart from the kebabs that I made. So this is going to go over the rolls before I put them in the oven. I'm going to cover it and bake it. I added some Worcestershire and some Maggi seasoning. I'll show you what that is in case you don't know what it is. I use it in a lot of beef dishes. Well, this sauce is thickening up quite a bit, so I might add a little bit more water. I just added more water. This is my sauce. I'm just going to pour it over my rolls here. I'm not ready to cook this right now, so I'm going to wait to put it in the oven. This is definitely more of a meaty sauce than I anticipated, but we had that much left over. And that will drizzle down in there and flavor all those cabbage rolls. Okay, I have the sauce covering the cabbage rolls. I'm going to cover it now until I'm ready to put it in the oven. These are the cabbage rolls. They've been in the oven, 350 for about 35 minutes. I think they probably need to cook a little bit longer. For the rest of the time, I'm going to put it in the oven for about 10 more minutes with the foil off and let it get a little bit brown on top. It's already been gotten into, but I just remembered to film. Cooked it covered for about 40-45 minutes and then uncovered for 10, and it looks like it came out perfect. They said it was really good. You could add cheese to it or whatever you want. I'm just going to eat it as is. We also had a salad with it, so very filling.